Vegas, does the number 19 mean something to you?
No, not particularly. Why do you ask?
Well, it means something to me. It means something to all the Panthers fans because it's 19 days till Bryce Young plays football.
Is that so? What up, everybody? It's the Rottweiler Patriots. I'm Vegas.
And I'm T-Bone.
And welcome, everybody, to today's video where we're going to talk about the Carolina Panthers, give a little update on moves they've made and where they're at and what their situation is as of right now, 2 weeks into the preseason. But before we do that, a couple quick reminders. Number one announcement video for our schedule for this year coming out this Friday. Got some fun stuff for you. Be sure to look at that. And number two, if you want to have your dog featured on Puppy of the Week starting this fall, those will be during power ranking videos. Form is down in the description. Fill it out. Get your dogs on the channel. It's going to be a lot of fun. And with those two things out of the way real quick, let's talk about the Carolina Panthers. So, T-Bone, I'm tossing this one over to you since this is your football team.
Thanks, Vegas. Really not. I'd like to say that we did more moves, but we really have just been focusing on depth pieces. So, no big starter shakeups have happened. So, as far as departures, Stephen Sullivan, he played a little bit last year as a tight end because obviously the Hayden Hurst injury and Tommy Tremble. But but you know, it sucks to see him go because it was injury related. But we've we drafted a tight end, and we're just gonna go in a different direction. I mean, it sucks to say that, but that's how it has to go. Lamar Jackson, cornerback, we waived him. We've both pieces, oddly enough, that we drafted. So it kind of sucks to see them because they were nice depth pieces. They really were helpful. They stepped up when they needed to, but it's just how it had to be. So going on to sign, once again, not big movements with big starters, but a couple of I guess points of note. Tyler Smith, I believe he's 6'8", 310, rookie. So offensive tackle. If he can get down um, the footwork and the movement, he'd be a great addition. He'd be a great addition either as a starter or as a depth piece. Because clearly he wasn't, he didn't have enough to be drafted, but he clearly is big enough and he's got the size. So if he can get that down, then that'd be very helpful to have. Chris Wilcox, um, seen some of his tape a little bit. Interesting stuff. Just nice to have sort of a depth piece when it comes to corners. Really, just in case Horn gets injured, which God hoping he won't, but in case he does, and we may have trouble in the secondary. Having him as a backup is not bad at all. With that, I mean, it'll be helpful to have these depth pieces and maybe have them work their way up to starting positions because they've got some of the tangibles down. So all in all, not bad choices. Obviously, nothing crazy, no big trades, but we're taking it slow, and I'm okay with that. I'm gonna actually pass it back to you now, Vegas. That's our transactions.
Well, I can tell you that the Carolina Panthers were not nearly as active as New England with major moves. Lots of undrafted free agent signings, which we didn't really dip into that too much just because most of those guys aren't going to make the roster, and the ones that do are probably going to be fringe players. So I didn't want to just fill the page with a bunch of names that you're never seen and will never see again. Kind of went for the moves that we thought were important. So, and that's the same with Sis as well. A lot of guys pulled in, released who never really saw the field for Carolina or weren't even on the roster during the actual regular season. But regardless, not a lot of moves for the Panthers. No surprise. They don't have a ton of cap to work with. So a little less aggressive than New England and other teams were. Definitely a lot of focus on those undrafted free agents. But I like Tyler Smith and Chris Wilcox. I think they will both probably make the roster and be solid depth pieces. How much we'll see the field, it'll depend. Also, I think a big thing for Smith is going to be, does Icky bounce back this year? And if he doesn't, is Smith a potential replacement further down the road? That's something we're going to have to see as things move along. But, I mean, overall, not a very active period for the Panthers, but the few things they were able to do, I'm a fan of.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, like I said, I mean, like everyone said, nothing big, nothing crazy in the realm of, big blockbuster moves. But I'm okay with that because what happened last time when we did big blockbuster moves? Nothing good, nothing really good. We're taking it slow. We're taking it one step at a time. We're making sure all of our coaches are acquainted. We really got out our big blockbuster moves right when free agency started. I mean, it was, bam, 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 bam. It just kept going and going. I mean, Josie Jewell, Robert Hunt, you've got those guys. And I guess, some people in the end, going to try and do some moves. In fact, Carolina did try one move. We did try and sign Stephon Gilmore, but he did not take the money that we were giving him because it was just a little bit under what he wanted. So obviously we tried here and there, but it's we're not the old Carolina Panthers. We're not going to go crazy. We're not going to try and reach for a guy just for it to be a 1-year stint. That's just going to be a stain on people's legacy. We're going to be smart. We're going to be calculated. It's going to be a chess game. And I'm okay with that. I'm really okay with how this is turning out. I really am. A little news here. I don't believe Andy Dalton, and I know for a fact Bryce Young is not going to play in the preseason. It has been all of Jake Luton and another guy we picked up here and there.
Jack Plummer, I believe.
Yeah, Plummer.
Rookie out of Louisville.
And maybe even another guy last year, but we've been rotating. It has not been QB1, QB2 type preseasons. And I know some guys some teams, some players really like to play in the preseason, at least for a little bit to get some snaps in. And I don't blame that line of logic. I don't think it would hurt to get Bryce Young out on the field for just a few reps. I am not going to judge the move a lot, but I do think it wouldn't hurt to do. I think what the plan is to sort of really, because it has been just a bunch of backups. It's been, America's Got Talent. It's been tryouts for everyone but the starters. Our starters have been about set in stone. We've been moving around. We just announced Deontay Johnson, wide receiver 1, is the de facto wide receiver 1, but that's okay because Adam Thielen can play the slot. So it's not crazy. You've got pretty much everyone's got their number 1, number 2 positions. So it's fighting for those roster spots and number 3 spots, which I'm okay with. If we're just doing, seeing who is really up to snuff for those depth positions, I'm okay with that because God forbid an injury happens and we need one of those depth guys to come in and really figure stuff out. I really want their head on straight. So I think personally I'd be okay with Bryce Young playing a few snaps, at least a quarter, but I am not going to be too crazy about him not playing. Neither Andy Dalton. I mean, if it's just basically depth guys, it really has been this preseason for the Panthers. It's just depth guys figuring out where they're at. And I really want people to hear me when I say if I see another person moan and gripe and complain about the Panthers preseason loss, I'm going to punt them to the stratosphere. I understand being upset about the Panthers season and how many wins we've gotten and how many wins we're probably going to get. If we've gotten to the point of where we're complaining about, we're not the Ravens. If we've gotten to the point where we're complaining about preseason losses, what's wrong with us? Are we that insane? Yes, Jake Luton and Plummer threw some interceptions. God forbid. There's a reason they're not starting. Calm down. That's all I gotta say. I just can't. I am a negative man when it comes to the Panthers losing. Are we actually so low on morale that we're seeing we're trying to be clairvoyant with some preseason records? Are we kidding ourselves here?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely I don't. A lot of people took way too much stock in preseason games. That's for sure. Especially again, you're talking about not playing those starters, and you look at not playing starters, and you're like, okay, you're like, I don't want them to get hurt, but I have some concerns about not playing starters, especially with there being some brand new offensive pieces, especially brand new wide receiver one, and then you're talking about a brand new coach and offensive scheme and in-game reps to at least get your timing down, get experience down with those guys, and like work on sequencing, routes, timing, all of that stuff in game at real speed, I think can be really beneficial, and just getting guys used to playing with each other and playing that type of game with each other. Trying out a brand new offensive scheme with a brand new coach and new players on this team, especially, new offensive guards too, for what's probably going to be a pretty run-heavy scheme if I were to guess. I think they'll probably work off the play action pretty well, but I can definitely see with your big guard acquisitions this being a more run-first team, especially also with the tackle concerns. But going into a brand new offense with a lot of new guys, and your first in-game full-speed live reps being in the regular season, that gives me a little bit of worry. And so I'm hoping that the Carolina Panthers will at least give their guys a bit of a chance in the final preseason game to work together and to try to get that timing down and, figure out what are the issues with the schemes and the routes, like what little tweaks and adjustments can we make, like what is and isn't working and stuff like that. And obviously you can test that stuff with backups, but it's not going to be the same as with starters. And again, the starters just aren't going to get that in-game experience working with it. And so I have some concerns about how the Panthers offense is going to be able to operate in the first 4 weeks of the season, because they're effectively going to be doing everything for the very first time when it actually matters. So I understand the no injury angle of it all, but on the flip side, you also have to question how prepared are they going to be to run what they need to run, at least to start the season. And they could get 4 weeks in and hit their groove. All right, we got it. Boom, let's go. Boom, boom, boom. Which, even if they do, I don't expect the Panthers to be a groundbreaking football team. I'd be very, very surprised if they make the playoffs. Especially
I don't think we are. I don't think. I'll say it now. I'll say it now for a preview, folks. I don't think we're making the playoffs. I think we're going to do better than a lot of people think. Though I said that last year, and look where we're at. Okay. So here's the thing. You really should be, you really should play some of your starters during preseason. I'm not too mad about it. It would probably help. But honestly, I know it's not the same. I know practice is not the same as a game. We've been practicing like crazy. we've been. I think we're ready. I do. And to answer your question about how our offense is going to be, I think we are certainly going to be a more run heavy offense, but I absolutely think Bryce Young's going to be throwing it some more. He didn't put on all that muscle just to throw for 2,500 yards. That boy's breaking 3,500. Prediction right now. I'm locking it in right now. Because last year he threw for 12 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, I think 60 some odd completion, and a little under 3,000 yards in 16 games. No, we're not having that. Not this year.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely anticipate Young playing better this year. He has a better coach, a better offensive line, a better backfield, and a better receiving core. But again, the Panthers still have holes. And even though it's better, being better than as bad as possible is not a very high bar at all. And you have Deontay Johnson, who Johnson still needs to show me that he can play at a high level. And I have no doubt that he's capable, but he hasn't really done it yet, and he's had some problems at the Steelers. So if he has the same problems that he had at the Steelers here in Carolina, well, then that constitutes a problem. And the other thing, too, is injuries. Panthers got really injured last year, and that's another concern, too, with not playing in the preseason, is not getting used to, those game reps and, getting your body prepped for hits. Because hits in the preseason just aren't going to be as hard, but it's going to be harder than what you're getting in practices. And so it's like you practice, hit harder. Preseason, hit a little harder. So then you're ready for the harder hits when it comes to game time. So they're kind of skipping out that middleman where they gradually work up to it, and I'm curious if that's going to lead to any early season injury concerns as well. I don't actually think that'll be as big a factor, but I think there is a little bit of something to be said there. But it'll be interesting to see what the Panthers do this year, because I don't have a great feel for exactly how this year is going to look for Carolina. I could see them winning only 3 games. I can see them winning 8 or 9.
I got a prediction right now. We're doing predictions early here. I think they're going to be better than the New England Patriots.
That is not happening.
Oh, really?
Do we want to? Are we mid video? Are we gonna do a bet or something? Just completely spontaneously.
A little bet?
What do we want?
What are the stakes?
What are the stakes?
I'll put down $2.
I was thinking more than that. I wasn't even thinking money. I was thinking one of us has to do something for the other, or we could do one of us gets to choose a humiliation for the other in some way.
Oh heck no! I'd rather just lose money. Oh no!
Yeah.
Look.
He immediately walks back the Panthers are going to be better than the Patriots. And realizes, oh shoot, I have to embarrass myself in public.
Hey! Listen, okay.
I just exposed where you're.
No. I'll say this, because I've done this before. People are trying to call me out. Listen, okay. I believe in my Carolina Cats. I don't believe in them that much. No. Last year, and I'm going to say it. Last year was the craziest year of football, and watch it happen. This year is going to be the craziest year of football because each year since 2020, it's been crazier.
Yeah, it's been something. It's wild. That's for sure.
No, anything can happen on any given Sunday. So, I'm not that confident, but I am confident enough to put down 2 Washingtons to say that the Cats are going to be better than the Pats.
$2 though, it doesn't feel like it's substantial enough. And again, betting money just isn't as fun.
Hey, I'm broke. That's well enough for me.
You're broke. $2. It's you get these $2. That's what helps you live.
That's the week's budget, man.
Good luck with that in this economy. I mean, what could we do?
I'm down for money. I think money's good. Here's the thing. I think Monetary's just an all around just a great prospect. There's nothing crazy. There's nothing, and I really don't want to do a mid off. I don't want to bet on mid.
Want to bet a bit. So what happens if the two teams tie?
It's a wash. We'll keep our money.
It's a
I'm okay with that.
So we're just gonna do a $2 bet on
Yep.
which team is better.
Yep. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, we'll be talking about those $2 all year.
Oh, you better believe
Those
I'll
two,
be.
those
I'll
$2
be
are
chatting
going to
about.
be very important. Oh, what if it has to be paid in a $2 bill?
You have one?
I don't think I do, but I can always just go to the bank and pester them.
Do banks have $2 bills?
I would assume so.
No, because here's the thing. Now I know I can cover that bet. I
You're like,
boys
oh
and
yeah,
boys and
this
girls,
bet is no risk at all.
boys and girls. T-Bone himself has got some $2 bills. Not a lot, but he's got some. So, you know what? Yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that.
Yeah. And I mean, if worse comes to worse, my mother probably has some hiding around somewhere I could exchange with her.
Hoarder.
Hey Ma, you want to exchange $2?
2 George Washingtons for 1 Thomas Jefferson.
That would be good. I think the prospect of it being a $2 bill makes it more fun.
Yeah, there
So,
you go.
We'll do the $2 bill. But yeah, I mean, Carolina's a team who I don't have a great feel for. I think the defense will be good. They usually are.
Defense is better than offense.
Offense will have to step up more, though. And I think Carolina will benefit from the weakest division in football, but I also don't think it helps that the Buccaneers and Falcons may actually be kind of good now. Especially Tampa Bay. I don't trust the Falcons either, if I'm being completely honest. It really will. If Kirk Cousins' injury is too much for him to come back from and be his old self, the Falcons will be good. Now, if Cousins is good, the Falcons will baseline be solid, but
Yeah.
I still have a hard time seeing them beat out Tampa Bay. Because Tampa, to me, is the best team in the division and will win it and make the playoffs.
No, Tampa Bay is going to make the playoffs, though I am very confident in them being just as mid as last year. They may make some minor steps towards improvement, but I actually think losing Canales is going to hurt them more than they think.
I don't actually disagree with you there, but I also think that, in general, they actually found their stride well late into the season. And, I mean, you saw how they were playing in the playoffs. They played very, very good football in the playoffs, and if they can unlock that level of play early on in the season, I think they're going to be a better team than most people give them credit for. Because by the end of the year, they were clicking on all fronts, and it was beautiful
I'm not a
to
Baker
watch.
hater. I'll tell you that. I'm not a Baker hater anymore. He's earned his spot.
You were a Baker hater. You were a big Baker hater. I've always been a Baker defender.
I'm not anymore. Hey, I'm not anymore. Listen, I'm not anymore. You just keep that Thomas Jefferson nice and warm for me. Gonna be
I have, even with your schedule being much more of a cakewalk. Dude, we have such a difficult schedule. We'll talk about that in a couple weeks. But New England's schedule, you're going to see that thing and you're going to be like, how on earth are you guys going to win any games? Holy moly. Like, we're playing like all of the best teams in the league. It's going to suck. But even with that, I still have a hard time seeing the Panthers have a better record than New England.
Trust.
Yeah, I think as far as the rebuild goes, Carolina's in a good spot.
They've done good. You've got some teams that really just crap the bed on rebuilds, and then you've got the Houston Texans.
Jets and Browns and Texans until last year.
Yeah, and then you've got the Texans this year, which is, just dynamite. So I don't imagine us being the Texans last year. Though I don't imagine us being the Browns either. Another sad fact that I've re-remembered. I probably tried to block it out because of how depressed I was for what happened. Only two teams, or the last two teams to get shut out 2 games in a row, was the 23 Panthers and the 2008 Browns.
Did New England not get shut out twice in a row this year?
Yeah, we got shut out twice in a row.
Well, no, did it not happen to New England?
I don't think so.
Because New England had that stretch of games where it was like 3 or 4 games less than 10 points. We got shut out against the Chargers.
You did not get shut out fully, though. I know that. Not 2 games.
Yeah, a lot to talk about. Going to be a fun year for Carolina. They're set up well in the rebuild. Obviously, still a couple years off, I think. But as of right now, given everything that this team has gone through and how badly they have been torn down by the last 2 coaching regimes and by their ownership, this is step 1 in getting back to where they need to be as an organization and as a franchise, and hopefully Tepper has learned his lesson and will back off, although I did hear a rumor that he was asking his wife which players to draft this year, so I can't verify if that's true or not, but...
No. That's how we got Chuba Hubbard, and I like Chuba Hubbard, but that is literally how we got Chuba Hubbard.
That's crazy. But no, if he learns to back up, then things are going well, because I do like the guys who he's got in place doing their thing. A few concerns, definitely not a great football team, but a team that's headed in the right direction. With that being said, any final thoughts, T-Bone?
No, sir.
Alrighty then. If that's the case, we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. Please be sure to let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. We would love to hear what you all have to say. And that is going to do it for us today. Thank you all so very much for watching. Please be sure to hit the like button. Please be sure to subscribe. And we will see you all in the next video.